Welcome everyone again to another fun Minecraft video. And this time I've got something very special that I've spent several days working on. But let's go check it out. Alright. So we got an interesting hallway here. And oh, yeah. I'm just going to be going on a little trip, okay? Alright, thanks. See ya. Alright. Well, what do we have here? Looks like we're gonna send ourselves somewhere. Probably need some supplies. Oh yeah. Yeah, a communicator would probably be a good idea. Let's just take a stack of those. We might need them. And yeah, some food. Take some food with us. Well, let's put that right there. It's always useful to have a clock. Alright. Now, let's take a look here. Looks like it's on this setting. Let's turn it over here. And let's flip these things on. Alright, I think I'm ready to explore. What about you? So here we are in a forest. Kind of beamed ourselves in a forest. And whereabouts? Okay, so we're about negative 3,000 one direction and 3,600 in another. And it's raining on us. So it looks like we have ourselves a pretty interesting way to kind of travel around. Kind of look around here, see what we got. Oh, almost fell down. That would have been bad. And I almost fell down there. That would have been bad too. Oh, got a good view here. A little piggy. Yeah, it's a nice nice size river there. Alright. Oh. I don't know about... Ouch. I may not make it home at this rate. Well, let's go ahead and go on home. We've got ourselves our communicator. Had instructions on it. Place on a block to signal the transporter and beam home. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright. We are home. Awesome. Okay, so as you can see, I have built a transporter room just like the classic Star Trek television series. And these are not texture packs, these are maps. So I use maps to put up control panels, to kind of decorate the transporter console a little bit. Got ourselves the Enterprise. I thought that turned out really good for a map. And we got that. And then I went through the trouble to try to get these funky things here. And in case you're wondering, I studied the design of this, and it really is on this side and not this side. So I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And we got our things up here. They light up. I don't know if you saw that. And then the transporter pads. which are sea lanterns. And you can see that I can walk all over it and it ain't gonna do nothing. Alright. So we have to activate it. So now you saw what one setting here did, but I'm not going to change it just yet because I want to show you guys something. Let's go over to this one. It's cutting out the sound effect because of the rain. Stupid rain! But as you can see, we're in a totally different place than we were before. Check our coordinates. Okay, so now we're at 1200X and 4000Z. We'll go ahead and use our communicator again. Alright, and it beamed us over here on this pad this time. Now let's try this one more time on this setting. Yeah, let's go back here. Cutting off our sound again. Okay, so now we are here next to a swamp at the coordinates of 3800 and 3400 there. Alright. Let's go ahead and get back. Send us back to this one. Alright, now let's see what happens if we go with this one. Looks like we got ourselves some pigs. We're in a savanna. Got some sheep that are running away. I'll give you a reason to relay there. A fire going on. Dum dum da dum dum dum. Apparently our home is that way. But how far? Ah, look at this. Now we are negative 40,000 and negative 48,000. Quite a bit of a distance. We better pay attention. We've only got one communicator left. Put that right there. Uh-oh. That can't be good. Alright, well, not sure what happened, but I guess this is a good opportunity for us to maybe it's because it was my last one. Alright, so you've been seeing that, yeah, I got myself some more communicators, that when we place a wooden block, we head back home, but it's not just any wooden block. See. Has to be a communicator. Ah, we're now on this front one. Okay, so lesson learned. Don't take just one communicator with you. Apparently that's not good. Alright, so let's do one more test, which is going to be this one. Which pad have we not gone to yet? This one. Where'd you come from? Bah. You came from out of nowhere. Well, he's kind of moving kind of funny. Alright, so where did we end up? Some big trees and stuff like that. Oh, kind of nice little area. Put a little hut or something down there. Alright. And our coordinates? Whoa, my goodness. Okay, so now we are negative 19 million on the X and negative 2 million on the Z. Ah, is it me or do I see a horse down there? Dum dum dum. Let's take a look. Yes, it is a horse. Plenty of horsies. Question is, can I take any back with me? I think I'm still working on that part. I don't know if I want to take cows with me. Here, let's set our communicator right there. Nope, doesn't look like it. Oh, yeah, actually I think I know why. So, okay, so we're back over here again. Alright, and one more. This time we're going to do it from this perspective. So that way you can see the particles. Well, I can tell you there's actually more particles, but that tree is in the way. So where are we at? Oh, here we go. Take a swim! Yay! Well, I forgot how slow it was without, like, fast boots. Okay! Well, I think I've done some adventuring today. Oh, what's my coordinates? Okay, so we're negative 14 million and negative 15 million. I'm like counting all the digits. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Here, let's see if we can put the block down somewhere. Oh. Whoops, I did it somewhere. Uh-oh. That's not supposed to happen. I'm stranded! No! No! I'm stranded! Alright, so it's a very complex piece of machinery, so I probably beamed back a little too quickly. But let's give it another try. I think I fixed it. Okay. Maybe I didn't fix it. Alright, so we're going to give this another shot. This time I'm just going to be in creative mode. Because this song that came on is pretty cool. Alright. Cross your fingers, hopefully this will work. Yeah! Okay, for a moment there, I didn't think it was going to work. All right, well, let's show you how this how this insane contraption works. This this is it. All of this stuff here. Okay, not that stuff, not the structure blocks, but that. All of that, all of this here, and then there's stuff underneath there. So that is how I made this classic Star Trek transporter. So let's start off with, well, I guess we could start off with the Star Trek whistle thing. So all we're doing is we're testing for a block that's pushed in, which is facing, let's see, facing north. And let's see, I've got my little whistle thing. Where did I put it? Over here. Yeah. So here it is. We're looking for that to be pressed in, and then it's going to activate this and put a redstone block right there, which is going to power this, which is the sound. It's custom sound that I put in. And then I have it timed in such a way, and I had to test this out because it was at a point where this whole thing was lit up, and so then I couldn't push the buttons and make any sounds. So it's timed so that way it's long enough to play the sound, and then it's gonna place air right there. So that way we can press it again and get more sound. Now the doors, and I don't mean the group, although the group's great. By the way, those are all maps, right? So if I do that, see, there you go, it's a map. Same thing with this. See? Map. Okay. Now the doors are all controlled here. I've got redstone. As you probably heard, they are pistons. See, they got sticky pistons there. And I have some sensors. These here are the ones that open up the door. So they are testing for whenever I step within a radius of one, practically right next to the door. This is on one side of the door, this is on the other side, and then this one tests when I'm a little further away in order to close the door. And in this case, it's going to set the redstone block so that way the door is shut, because there's two on this side, two on the other. And then there's a sound that it'll play. Oh my goodness, I had a heck of a time with this, because I had the door sounds were echoing, and sometimes they didn't play, and all kinds of stuff. Alright. Okay, and then so we've got these 3 buttons and we got the 3 levers, right? Okay, so let's go back out. And those buttons are right here. So as you can see, if we push the left button, it's gonna make a sound, and it's gonna change. What we're doing is a spread player function. That's set to a radius of 5,000. This one is 50,000, and this one is 29 million. So those are the 3 in order. So as you can see, what we're going to be doing is testing to see if that button is pushed. And then we're going to be setting a command block. So that way, what that's doing is that's setting a command block and replacing this one right here in the whole sequence, where we've got a scoreboard here set up to count up to 90, and then it's gonna teleport. So like right here, this is the 5,000, because if you remember, I pushed that button, so that's why that's got there. So yeah, this opens up a whole lot of possibilities. After that, these right here, what they're going to do, it's going to run a fill that's going to change all those buttons back to stone. And then it's going to replace that button that was pushed with a wooden button. Now that may sound kind of silly, but in order for me to get this to work so that way if I pushed the buttons in different orders and then 2 weren't all stuck into place, I had to do it this way. So replace them all with stone, and then I can replace the one button that I had pushed in to a wooden button to show that it was lit up. And then these are the sound effects. So track button 10 and 2 and 3, all playing from the coordinates. Now the levers. These are our levers right here. This is going to test that the 3 levers are down and activate the transporter. And then this one is 3 levers that are up and will deactivate the transporter. So what we're doing here is we're testing for the levers. So that's what these 3 are. That's if they're down. This is if they're up. And then this line right here is going to turn on or turn off our little energized sound effects, which is right here. So it's going to place a redstone block right there. And then as you can see, we got the sound effects for the left lever tied to a clock, just for the same reason as that one over there, that I got one for the middle. I do not have one for the third one. I'm still trying to work out that thought. So yeah, so it's gonna start placing redstone blocks up here so that way it can light up those lights. On the flip side, when you turn them off, it's gonna put the black wool. But what's really interesting is this right here. Suppose you were thinking of going to beam and then you change your mind. Well, I have it set up right here just for that. So here, let me show you. Okay, so this is a good opportunity. Let's turn that on. Okay, so we turned it on. Now if we go stand over there, we're going to beam out, but let's go ahead and turn it off. Okay, you see the lights went off. Let's just step over here. See? We're not beaming anywhere. And I'll show you why. So what we're going to do is that we're going to remove the redstone blocks from the sound levers. Even though I have it set up over there, I just had some problems unless I didn't do that. So left lever, middle lever, and then if this winds up being turned off, it's going to place a it's going to remove the redstone block that's right here, and I'll show you what I mean. And then there's going to be a tag. So it's the opposite of this. When we turn on the levers, it's going to place a redstone block here and activate this repeater block, which is an execute command, which is looking in a radius of 4 at these coordinates. This is basically right smack dab in the center of that transporter pad, and we're going to detect what's underneath the player for a sea lantern. So no matter what sea lantern I step on, it's going to activate this machine. So that's how I'm able to use any machine. And then it's going to go ahead and it's going to tag. It's going to tag us with Trek D. Then it's going to set a redstone block for our depart chain, which is right over here. So it's going to set a block there. I did have this all up here at one point. I had to move things around, and yeah, it was a pain. Alright, so we're going to create our scoreboard here. Then we're going to set a redstone block right over here. This is our teleport chain. In the meantime, while this is going, we are going to set a redstone block for our dematerialized sound effect, which is right here. So it's going to place a block there. And you can see there it is. It's playing the sound effect. And it's going to set a redstone block to our dematerialization and then remove it. And then it's going to remove the redstone block here. And I'll show you where that... Basically, that these 4 lines right here, that's all the particle effects. And you'll see why it's that many. Okay, so now we're going to add another scoreboard called Trek Away. Then we're going to add a redstone block to that Trek Away scoreboard, which is right here. And we'll get to that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to summon an armor stand called Scout. And it's going to be invisible, and it doesn't really matter where it goes. It's just going to be, I think I just placed it on one of the pads there. Okay, so now we're on our teleport chain, which is this one right here. Or we call it depart. So we're going to add a point until we get to 90. Now this is where the fun begins. The spread players, what we're doing is we're not doing a spread player on ourselves. We're doing it on the armor stand, Scout. And then we're teleporting ourselves to the Scout. Now why would I do that? Well, let's say you have some friends. Well, let's say you got 5 friends, and the 6 of you want to go transport somewhere. If I had this as spread players, all 6 of you would go to different places. So we send the Scout out, just the Scout, and then we teleport all the players with this tag to that Scout. So you all go to the same place. Then we're going to start removing that depart scoreboard. We're going to remove the redstone block from the tagging chain that was down there. And then we're going to place a redstone block to power up the a clock, which is going to change the levers. So right here, I'm going to place a block there. And it's going to be timed, and then when it gets to here, it's going to change those levers and put them back up. And then when it puts those levers back up, this is going to detect it, and it's going to shut everything down. It'll turn off the lights and everything. Where are we at? Okay, so we're going to move the redstone block from the test 4 chain. I think this is it over here. Right over here. So we remove it from there. Let's see. Okay, so now we're going to add a redstone block to materialize, and then we're going to move the redstone block from this chain over here. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. This is the materialized part, but let's start with the dematerialized part, which was this here. You can see that we have a redstone block that's going to be going to a clock. Then we're going to remove it because we don't want to break the clock. So that clock is right here. Now you'll be thinking, why in the world do you have this clock? Well, this is what times it. It's going to start setting redstone blocks, and then it's going to start taking them away. So that's what these are right here. So I have an effect that starts in the middle, and then kind of like top, bottom, and then a kind of a diamond shape, and then kind of that. So let's see here. If I were to give myself that tag, because I need that tag Trek D in order for this to work. Give ourselves a redstone block. So you'll see it's gonna time over here. So let's go ahead and place that block. See, and you can see the particles. Alright, you want to see that again? See how the blocks are going through? Then it's going to take them. And then I'll show it to you one more time, but over from here. See how it's going through and around? Okay, so what exactly are we doing? What effects are those? That's red dust, but it's colored yellow. So as you can see, we're doing an execute, so that way it'll work no matter where we are. We're doing a red dust effect. And this is saying relative where we are, it's one block up. And this right here is what makes it yellow. So I started off with, man, these particles I think probably took me the longest time because I was trying to get them close together and not all spread out and all that other stuff. So I was using decimals, and then I thought, I started off with like 3 blocks, and then I was like, well, it doesn't look like it's enough, so eventually I extended this out as far as it is, so that way they're practically surrounding the character. So, oh yeah, that took some time. Alright, but now we got the whole materialized part, right? So here, that's what the trek away is at. We added that scoreboard. Now we're going to go, it says 45, but I've changed it. It's 80. Now we're going to add a redstone block to the materialization clock, which is this over here. It's basically the same exact as that, except this is for materializing. Now why don't I use the same one over there? I probably could, but with the way that it's timed, I was concerned that if I tried to use it while it was finishing up, it was going to try to place a block where it couldn't place a block. So that's why I created another one over here. Not a big deal. That's why you got structure blocks. You can make a whole copy of it. But here is the clock here. Now this one's bigger. And I had to time all this out and stuff. And that's mainly because when I beam and get to the next location, it took longer. Oh, well, you know what? You're seeing the whole effect here, that's why. Whereas when we're beaming out, you only see half of it. Because, well, you know, you're beaming out. Now, I wanted to get this where these particle effects were already started, by the time I got there, but I have problems. So maybe I'll be able to fix that later. Okay, so yeah, it's going to run all that over there, and then at the very end, it's going to remove that tag from us. And this here is our sound effects, the materialized sound effects. And just in case you were wondering, I'll copy that and play it right here. So I got these sound effects from my Star Trek soundtrack CD. So yeah, there's a block that's put over here to activate this, and then we'll remove it. Then that armor stand scout, we're going to go ahead and kill that armor stand. And then we're going to remove that trek away scoreboard. Alright, so now is the fun part, and that's returning back home. That's where we start here. Now this thing is, or part of this is something that I got from Jragon in regards to detecting right clicks. And as you can see, we have a special communicator which is built with this command block right here. So this allows us, we're doing a replace item block, and we're putting some wood buttons, 64 of them, inside, and I gave it the enchantment effect just so it glows. We're tagging it beam up, gave it some lore and a name, and it's putting it into the chest, which is 2 blocks that way. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Let's get rid of this stuff. So yeah, so since we have that created, we already have a scoreboard going on here, but this is here to create it. So, and it's still going. So if we do scoreboards, objective list, you can see that the beam up scoreboard is still going. I might have a way to turn it off. I haven't really gotten that far. This is a work in progress. Okay, so what do I have? The same thing here? This is our scoreboard. We're adding the scoreboard, and we're making it to where the objective is to use an item, and that item is going to be a wooden button. Why did I use a wooden button? Well, it was the closest thing that I could see that looked kind of like a communicator, as opposed to using a fishing rod or something. Okay, so this is where Jragon stuff is at. So the button has got to be tagged. As you can see, it has to have the tag beam up, or basically that is the scoreboard thing. Oh my goodness, this took forever for me to try to get working correctly. Then we're going to tag the player with a tag of right hand, so that way when we are holding it, it detects that we're holding it. Now, on his tutorials, he has another block which tests if you have it in your other hand, but oh, I guess I can place that. I didn't think I could do that. I guess I'll have to add that in there. Yeah, so that was right there. I didn't put it on mine. Yeah, which is why it didn't beam me. Did you see that? Okay, so when we do it with the right button, it's going to give us a score. We're tagged right hand. As long as we're holding it, in our right hand, we'll have that tag. If not, it's not going to do anything. And a regular wooden button won't do anything either. But it's going to execute a command. It's going to set a redstone block right up there, which is then going to tag us with that trick D again. Otherwise, all that stuff back there is not going to work. In the meantime, it's going to remove that right-hand tag from us, reset the score to 0. I don't believe I just did that. Great, I have to fix it. Then we're going to remove the redstone block from there. Good thing I have that stuff written down. Now, this part here, you notice when I put the buttons down, it was getting rid of them. Do you remember that? Now, why did I do that? Well, I didn't want to leave buttons all over the world, you know, communicators. So I was trying to find a way to get them to disappear, since I couldn't figure out a way to, you know, click up in the air and try to get it to do its thing without, you know, all the armor stands and all that stuff, which I didn't want to do. So what I did is did a fill command and a replace. So it's going to fill a square section around me, cube section around me with air, and it's only going to replace a wooden button. That's all it's going to do. Now, if I just happen to be in an area with a bunch of wooden buttons, well, those are going to disappear too. Now, I suppose, no, I'm not going to be able to put a tag on that, because once I put that communicator down, it becomes a regular button. It wasn't glowing anymore, I noticed that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place a redstone on a chain that's going to randomize what transport pad we're going to be coming back to. And it's also going to summon an armor stand. As you can see, this allows other players to beam back to different pads. So that way, if players are coming back, they're not all beaming into each other. So this gives it a chance for them to all come up on different pads. This design, again, I got from Jragon in regards to his randomizer. I tried some other things over here. This is another one of his contraptions. And I found that this was actually the best thing that would work for me. So what that does is going to put a redstone here. And like his tutorial, it's going to choose a random armor stand called Trek Random. These are all Trek Random. They're all named that way. So at random, it's going to choose one of them, and it's going to place a redstone block. I'm not quite sure where, but it's going to activate these commands, which is going to summon a armor stand called Home, which is going to be invisible. And it's going to replace it with air. The reason why it says failed is because it's always active, but it works. Then it's going to remove a redstone from this chain right here. So let's show you. Let's go ahead and put a block there. See how it disappeared. So we know one went over there. Do it again. Alright. So we know we should have two. Let's take a look and see where those two are at. And we'll go into spectator mode. Dum, dum, dum. And there they are. So beaming back on one trip will bring me here, and beaming back on another would bring me here. And then we'll go ahead and kill those armor stands. And there they go. Take us back to creative. I guess maybe I should have flew out of here first. Oh, you know what? Just to kind of show you, like, I liked how that turned out, but take a look. See? It's a map. Pretty cool, huh? Let's get rid of these signs. Yeah, so there's the other half. Yeah, so no mods or anything in this. This is all vanilla. It's the way I prefer it. The only resource pack that I'm using is Faithful, just because I like the smoothness of it. Alright, so now we summon the armor stand. It's going to randomly put it on one of those 6 pads. It's broken. I gotta fix it. Alright, so we've placed a redstone block here, which is going to tag us. It's going to play that communicator sound effect. I just called it this. So, see, as you can see, and it's playing it from our position. Now it's going to create a scoreboard called Beam Home, and it's going to set a redstone block to the Beam Home chain, which is this one. And then it's also going to set, it's basically the same thing we did over there, just in reverse. Well, not really reverse. Instead of materializing there, or dematerializing there, we're just dematerializing wherever we're at. So yeah, it's creating scoreboards with a whole different name, so that way it doesn't get mixed up with those. Yeah, and so here's the wait counter for coming home, and materialization clock, all that other stuff. We, remove the scoreboards. This is when we're departing. We got that wait counter, and as you can see, we're teleporting the player back to the armor stand called home. That's how we're able to get home. Now all of this is not going to work if it's not in the spawn chunk. As long as this is in the spawn chunk, this is always going to be loaded and it's always going to work. If you don't have it in your spawn chunk, you're going to be stranded. Alright. So now we're putting a redstone block to the sound effects, moving the redstone from this chain. I need to be careful. Now we're going to go ahead and kill that armor stand, so that way it doesn't mess anything up if there's anyone else playing. And these are the sound effects. I moved stuff all over the place just to try to get things to work. So I had to do things differently and not reuse some of that stuff. Oh, it was creating a mess. Same thing here. This is the dematerialization. I tried to reuse some of that stuff and it just caused conflicts and all kinds of good stuff. But that's it. That is the whole contraption. And like I said, it's a work in progress. There's a lot more stuff I want to do here. Hey! You shut the doors on me. It's because I came around here in the corner and it didn't detect that. Let me turn it on and show you what it looks like outside. Okay, so there's the lights lit up. And now do you see the redstone here? That's the energized sound effect. The levers, see how they're all lit up? Oh, I forgot to tell you about the sound of the transporter room. The humming, that's this. It continually, as you can see, it's playing the transporter room sound, and it's only so many seconds long, and so it's on an endless loop. But yeah, so you can see that's all tied up, and if it's like this, it's not going to let me play the sound again, so I have to have something that's going to remove those redstone blocks. So this is another troubleshooting thing I had to do. So if I do transport out, that's what those blocks around here where it said remove the redstone block to, I forget which one it was, but Yeah, it's going to replace those with air, so that way we can still use it. But remember I told you, what if you change your mind? So flip those back up. No, I don't have any sound effects for that. Maybe I'll put some sound effects in there. But as you can see, it removed the redstone blocks. That's what this chain here does. It detects when those levers are turned down, and then if it sees that there's a redstone block here, it's going to remove it. So it's going to deactivate everything, and it's going to remove that tag and all that good stuff. Yeah, this was incredibly complex to put together. Days it took me to get this thing to work, and sometimes I still have a little bit of trouble, like what you saw. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out. It was just kind of a idea that I had. I thought to myself, you know, it'd be really cool if I could have a Star Trek transporter. And I just started theorizing how I could do it with command blocks. And as I got to learn the commands, I'm like, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. It wasn't going to be easy, and it was going to be really complicated, but yeah, I managed to get it. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. As far as all the commands, yeah, I'm not going to list all those out, because trust me, those commands are not going to help you one bit. You can see how complex this was to try to put this thing together. So, but I've given you guys some ideas of how you can build your own Star Trek transporter. At least you know how I went about doing it. And then you can kind of like take pieces from here and there of what I've done and kind of make your own thing. So that's all I got for you. I do plan on making some more videos of, you know, utilizing this transporter room, as well as some other Star Trek ideas that I've got. So thanks for watching. I've got some other videos. Check those out, and we'll see you on the next video.